Grown folks only today, please. No children in the chat, no children on this video. If you are, let me pick the number. Let's use the age when Shannon Sharpe met Gabby, allegedly 19. If you are 19 and under, you must leave. You must exit right. All right. So Shannon Sharpe fired. No, I did not say step down. I said fired. We're gonna get to that. It's about time that we just read through the paperwork as well. Okay. It's not that long of a read, so we're gonna go there. There has been a bunch of other things revealed from the industry side, the shakeup. A lot of people reacting to this big news with Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to bring up a couple people. We're also going to get to the conspiracy involving Shaquille O'Neal. Was this a scent hit involving the outing of Shannon Sharpe's business and his skeletons in his closet? Then I'm going to move into, is it the stereotype? Is it right? Is it wrong? The question of the age gapped relationship. Okay. Are some of you women out there tripping? Some of you men out there tripping? Or is this just business as usual? We're going to jump into that topic. Okay. And I got a little bit of little Durk updates for you as well towards the end. Happy Friday. Shout out to the members. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to the entire chat. Let's work. First thing is first. When I said Shannon Sharpe got fired, let's just get to it. So yesterday it came out that Shannon Sharpe stepped down from ESPN. Right, this is his actual public statement. You see, this is right here on his Instagram. My statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues. Shannon Sharpe. I haven't seen too much support. I'm pretty sure his friends are reaching out to him, texting him, calling him. His family's right by his side, hugging him. Daddy, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure. But when you talk about public support, you got this thing called court, and then you also have this thing called court of public opinion, right? I don't see any of these celebrities standing up and putting they names and they brands on the line. That's what Kanye West is ranting about. Wait, who's gonna stand up for me while I'm losing my kids to Kim in the middle of y'all, right in front of y'all faces? I don't see nobody vouching for Shannon Sharpe right now. Um, at this point, we already did the stream where we broke down Stephen A. Smith's initial response, throwing him under the bus. Yes, but to a degree, now that we see the continuance of what has evolved from the situation, it's not just a throwing under the bus type of thing that Stephen A. Smith did. He clearly knew what was on the way. He represented the bosses. He said that. He said, I spoke to this person, the owner of Disney. He said I could speak on this. He gave me permission to say his name. They wanted him out there on the front lines to do some damage. You're the one that brought him in. But not just that. You know, Shannon Sharpe, he has this inviting, cool, funny type of presentation and personality, at least on podcasts and TV, right? So, all right, maybe there will be some backlash out there, you know, if he steps down or gets fired. Stephen A. Smith, go do what you do. That's 1000% what Stephen A. Smith shit was. You could see the pain in his eyes as he was talking. Stephen A. Smith the whole time was just, I mean, so I don't know what's going to take place. I don't know. There are levels above me, you know. Even though I am the executive producer of ESPN and I brought Shannon Sharpe in, you know, I have a boss. And the bosses said that I could speak on this, but they didn't tell me what was happening next. I spoke to Shannon Sharpe and he emphatically told me that this isn't true. But I'm not really sure because Tony Busby got his shit that he's saying too. He didn't sound nothing like that when it was Jay-Z, right? He sounded nothing like that. He snapped for Jay-Z. Nobody is snapping for Shannon Sharpe. Nobody. And there's more stuff that has continued to come out. I'm pretty sure people were aware of this in the past, but it damn sure didn't have the microphone to it. It didn't have the amplifier to it. So look at this. Fox says, or as per Fox, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe settled physical incident with female. Okay. The alleged incident, which has not been previously reported, took place while Sharpe was a co host on FS1's Undisputed show. Okay. This article here says April 24th. So somebody put this article up yesterday on frontofficesports.com. Okay. ESPN contributor Shannon Sharpe announced Thursday he is stepping away from the network as he faces a $50 million lawsuit on allegations that he are a woman whom he was in a relationship with. While he contends with that suit, additional incidents from his past have come to light. Before Sharpe's time at ESPN, when he was the co-host on FS1's Undisputed, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace. Two sources with knowledge of the incident tell Front Office Sports. Well, that doesn't mean that it's 1000% true, right? Sources told this particular Front Office Sports network, they put it out, right? If I'm Shannon Sharpe, I get ahead of this as well. I answer to this as well. At this point, you might as well. I send lawyers to this website the same way Jay-Z sent lawyers when Jaguar Wright ran her mouth on the wrong platform. You know, this stuff is getting legs all over the place. And the key here is it's a choking alleged incident. We all heard the audio. I'm going to choke you when I see you. Go ahead and say that manipulative word one more time. Like the whole choke and then the bondage alleged stuff or whatever. Nothing with choking should be on Shannon's name coming out right now. He's got enough to deal with as it pertains to choking, consensual or not. All right. I go after this as well if I'm Shannon Sharpe. I'll keep it 1,000. It's not like you got the choking stuff going on and this report comes out and says, oh, well, we worked at FS1. He kicked me in the shin. No, like they're saying they're painting the history of these same type of actions, allegedly. So not good for something like this to come out. Now, before we get into the paperwork, people, let's just jump real quick to suspended, stepped down, fired. You see, my title says Shannon Sharpe fired from ESPN. Do I hold in my possession clear-cut proof of the bosses in Disney and all that? Some article that came out from ESPN that says we fired Shannon Sharpe? No, I do not. And you understand, y'all from that are familiar with this podcast know that I like to go on what's solid or as solid as possible. And then on top of that, I might mix in just my own educated guesses, opinions, experience. Okay. I'm not trying to say in this title that 1000% people he got fired. It's a common sense thing. Okay. The very first stream that we did on Shannon Sharpe before this got 10 times worse, I honed in on corporate. I said his problem here is corporate people, right? Like that means that real allegations are not true or false. The spot that you're in on ESPN, they move different. This ain't the No Jumper podcast, okay? This ain't where my boss, Adam 22, for example, is moving around like some ghetto, whatever, like flimsy, off, not really. This is ESPN, Disney, televised networks, little kids watching. Hey, Kendrick Lamar, you take the halftime show Super Bowl. Don't even say the word nigga. Say that shit for your concert. That type of atmosphere, okay? A lot of y'all step into office today, right? Happy Friday. Y'all are not going to use the words, the slang, and talk and the tone that you use the moment you walk out that door 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. Okay? Corporate. Damn, my references be bouncing in my head. Remember the little quick video when Stephen A. Smith accidentally said the word nigga on TV and then he had to do a whole cleanup video? I did not say that word. I should have. If I would have thought about that, I'd do this all live. If I would have thought about that, I would have put that video up for a laugh. But anyway, corporate. So in corporate, the way that it works is, especially with big names, big figures, it happens to even like CEOs a lot. It'll happen to VPs, vice presidents, and what managers, right? Like I once had a 9-to-5 office job with a company, and there was a VP that I was reporting to, right? And he was trotting along, having a good old time. He seemed like he loved his job. Everything was regular. They hired another VP at the same level as him, right? When that VP that was hired on the same level as him, he saw it as writing on the wall, like, oh, I'm being replaced, right? So then, like 2 weeks later, after this guy was hired, he submitted his resignation. He was just like, "Hey, man, I'm moving on to greener pastures. I got some others." No, right? That's the corporate type of answer, and that's not even exactly this situation. This type of situation I've seen as well. Once again, what goes out to the public and what's told to the staff is not the reality. I've seen the case where you have some big industry or corporate shakeup. Money's being lost, changes are being made, big names are getting cut. You want to know what corporate shakeup is? Corporate shakeup is when the company doesn't want to scare everybody away. Okay? Meaning that you got all these doers on the ground that are keeping the company going. Like, for example, if it's a restaurant, think of them as the chefs in the kitchen, the cooks. They don't make a lot of money, but they're so essential to the operation. Okay? Now, the owner gets fired, or the co-owner, or the CEO. The owner gets fired. Don't make no sense. The CEO gets fired, right? Now, you don't want everybody running for the hills saying, "Oh, this is shaky grounds. Like, this is what's going on." Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes instead, what they do, they pull the CEO into the office, say, "This is what we're gonna do, man. And give you a little money financial package on the side. You know what I'm saying? Give you a little million dollars or something like that. I'm not pushing you out the door with both hands. I'm just kind of nudging you. Go ahead out in the public now, put on the face, send the nice emails, be cordial for the next 2 weeks. Don't say nothing. You got my back, I got yours. We're going to keep this clean." Okay? There's a third factor. Let me give you the third and final example before we get to the paperwork. The third and final example in corporate is HR. HR, okay? Them bosses, them owners, they still got to protect themselves legally based on how they move. If I'm Shannon Sharpe and this news hits the internet and this girl, starts saying that I did this and I did that, and my company just taps me on the shoulder and says, "Goodbye, have a nice day." God forbid I win that case or I prove her accusations to be false, right? We're not talking 10 million now. We're not talking 50 million or 100 million now. ESPN, you know what you might owe me now if I come after you for firing me improperly. My firing alone tarnishes my name and my image in this whole industry for the rest of my life, right? Those are the type of claims you have. There's an order to this type of stuff. If you're a consultant or a contractor, damn, I could really break this shit down for y'all. If you're a consultant or a contractor, different story. You could wake up and they could say, "Bye, have a nice day," and it is what it is. That's the nature of your deal, the nature of your contract. Full-time employee, FTE, different story. Different story. You need things like warnings. You need things like write-ups. You know what I'm saying? You need maybe a bad review or two. You know what I'm saying? You can throw your weight around a little bit more when you're a full-time employee. What they got to do is they got to evacuate the position, and they can't even replace that same position, and they got to justify like layoffs. Okay? And what happens in layoffs? You still got to give people something on the way out the door. Okay? So tell that shit to somebody else. And the reason why I want to lay on that is because I'm not just the guy that's going to come up here and say, "Well, I think he was fired, y'all." Like, because no, I'm going to tell y'all really how it goes. Like, bullshit. You didn't step shit down. Okay. Your return, low percentage. Low percentage. If you're Shannon Sharpe, you don't want to walk away from that job. You don't want to walk away from that check. You don't want to walk away from that perception right now. Because if you're able to sit there on ESPN while you're going through this in your personal life, and them cameras are still on and you're still smiling and frolicking and saying, "LeBron James, Lakers in 5." If you're able to still do that, it looks good. It actually, because time will heal. People will just continue to see you talk about sports and all that. They'll stop talking about this. The Diddy trial will start. That'll be the big news. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get back to that later. What's going on with Caesar and DJ Envy's case? Damn, I'm fucking good at this. What is going on with Caesar and DJ Envy's place? Situation. Anybody got an update? Right? The whole world, the whole spotlight was on DJ Envy's heels behind that shit. Right? Caesar might still be going through that for all we know. Did 105 get rid of him? You got some drama going on. There's illegal accusations that you can go to jail for that type of shit. DJ Envy included, if he allegedly did some of the things that people was looking at him for when he was the hot topic. They didn't touch him, though. They left him alone. Fast forward, who's talking about it? That could still be going on behind the scenes, but who is talking about it? I love when the chat is with me, man, because we just flow this shit. And Charlemagne's charges. We can keep going. We can keep going. You damn right you did, right? The reference just pops in my mind because it's like corporate people. I will explain why we can say with 98% chance he was fired, but it's pushed to the public as a step down. The fuck out of here. It's not a clickbait title, people. All right, let's get to the paperwork. Let's get to the paperwork. What we got going up here? What we got going on here? All right. We did all of that. We had so much of this breakdown in this situation without even needing to go to the paperwork, which is bugged out. But let's take a look at it. We'll skim it. We don't got to go crazy. It's only 14 pages. I'm not going to read through it word for word, people. We kind of much know a lot of this already, but some of the detail and what Tony Busby is putting together, I felt like it was still worth it. Jane Doe, an individual slash plaintiff, Zaninga, like, it's a Shannon Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are still redacting Cassie's name, then we're gonna replace this fucking name here too. Fuck it. Y'all want to play, we're gonna play too. I gotta stop. Plaintiff Jane Doe complains that defendant Shannon Sharpe and for cause of action would respectfully show the honorable court the following introduction. A woman can say yes to consensual. Stop there. That's all I need to have my first stop. If we go back to Shannon Sharpe's public statement, that is the position that he's going to stay on this entire journey. Consensual, 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 consensual. You know what Tony Busby and Gabby is going to sit on this whole time? That, yeah, it started off consensual. This was 2 years. We got to a point where it evolved. That audio came out with Shannon Sharpe. I tried to break up with him, this and that. He got abusive. As you see, we put out audio. We were scared. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I wanted to get away from him, but he told me he was going to choke me when he seen me. We go to the same gym. So I said, fuck it. Let me just go to dinner with him so I don't get choked. That's literally in the audio, even though her recording it looked like you're getting lined up. But that's one. I'll say that briefly and then we'll get back to the paperwork, people. I had this conversation yesterday off camera. I said, yes, I do believe that Shannon Sharpe just got his ass lined up by this girl. But he got lined up in the midst of doing things that allegedly are wrong. Now you paint that how you want to paint it. I know that feels like gray area, but that's just what we see. You got lined up, but you got lined up within the midst of doing stuff allegedly that you wasn't doing correctly, so it seems. Okay? Allegedly. All right. A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations and or with a man 99 times. But when she says no, even once, that no means no. Y'all know how we feel about that. It's just like, don't get 2 years fucking me and then try to pull that on me. Now, if you're kicking and screaming and crying, I need to know the difference between, all right, this is the baby boy scene and we arguing and one of us is using sex for healing, or this is complete like which they're painting. Like, I guess men, it's on us to responsibly know the difference. Maybe some of us might feel like there's a fine line. Be aware. Okay? Be aware. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, that's not illegal. We're gonna get to that later on. It's not illegal, but if you're Tony Busby, you're just painting a picture. You throw little shit like that in there for a reason, right? Just like you put in there doxing in what we read yesterday. I don't even know if that's what you're coming at the man for, but you put it in there. Okay. Younger than he, repeatedly threatening and brutally choke and violently slap her. Sharp refused to accept the answer no and Ard plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. Damn. Shannon, you better hope for the sake of not just this $50 million case, but you got daughters. You got daughters, B. You better hope We all better hope. Your family better hope. Forget money and ESPN. Let's come all the way as close to home as possible now. You better hope that you're not on some video, 30 seconds or not, slapping somebody and being violent while she is screaming no. It's not going to be easy to paint that as role playing. Yo, big, like you said, big black man chokes little white woman. Yo, big 200, what's he look like? If I don't know how tall he might 250 muscular self, putting these gym videos up and all that, lifting the whole gym, slaps this little whatever she is, this little girl, this little young woman. I don't know. I don't know, buddy. I know there's a lot of role playing out there. Y'all slapping each other too? Y'all got it if so. Shit. Sobbing and repeatedly screams of no. Even if you say, yo, the slap was role playing. How about mature conversation? I warned y'all. How about tears rolling down your face? Y'all get to that level of acting? If so, take your ass to Hollywood and get a gig with Spike Lee or some shit. Tears rolling down your face, sobbing and crying. Now, I know it could be the fake crying and all that, but even if you fake cry to me, ain't gonna no healing sex going down right now. You crying? No, we dealing with that. I'm even turned off. I can't have sex with you if you got tears rolling down your fucking face. I'm turned the fuck off. Hell no. Ain't no makeup sex in that moment worth it in the world. I'll wait an hour or two. We could do that later. Shit. Are you kidding me? Allegedly. Well, should I say allegedly? I'm reading the paperwork. Defendant Shannon Sharpe is a 56-year-old former NFL superstar. He claims to be one of the most successful sports media personalities in the country. He is. Plaintiff is a young woman in her early 20s. In 2023, plaintiff was working out at a gym in Los Angeles, California, when Sharpe approached her for the first time. You ran down on her. All that setup stuff or whatever, like there's elements of you being lined, but you ran down on this little young girl is being said here, huh? Yeah, say Shannon, I hear you like them young, allegedly. All right. Only that he was another older man ogling her at the gym. Doe could tell Sharpe was much older than her. She found him physically intimidating. Eventually, he introduced himself at his determined insistence. She gave him her number. All right. Over the next couple of weeks, Sharpe incessantly, whatever, incessantly, what the hell is that? Damn sure ain't the word incest, right? These legal documents be killing me. Pursued plaintiff. He constantly approached her at the gym and attempted to contact her frequently with phone calls and text messages asking to meet up, unwillingly to take no for an answer. Well, come on, Tony. She gave him the number. Like, if we're gonna do this whole no means no thing, then don't give me the number. Don't show up at the Addy. Don't come over my place. Don't let me come over your house. Don't fuck me. Like, come on. Don't accept my gifts. Like, there's a lot of this in here that's you got lined the fuck up, but you still did some shit allegedly, Shannon. That's just not good. Eventually, plaintiff gave in and agreed to meet up with Sharpe outside the gym. However, before doing so, Sharpe demanded that Doe sign a non-disclosure agreement or NDA, something plaintiff found a bit concerning. Oh shit! I actually ain't too mad at that. And it's in the middle of that was 2 years ago, but he's got all this stuff going on. Fast forward, $100 million deals. Our first date, he made him sign. He made us sign a NDA. Our first date. Hey, I'm glad to be taking you out, man. I'm glad we had a chance to meet up. Do me a favor, sign this. Hey, how many times? Let me just take the screen so that if you're new here, right? I reference situations, movies, music, lyrics, all types of stuff a lot while making my points and drawing my own opinions, people, right? And I love the fact that we get these opportunities to continue to prove that art imitates life. This man is being alleged in this paperwork to meet up with this girl in front of the gym for their first date and says, by the way, sign this NDA. You want to know what that also looks like? The Dave Chappelle skit. Now they was about to fuck, granted, right? But it's real shit. These powerful people, these rich people, people that have shit to lose. Some of them got wives or husbands at home. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't afford like I don't think a lot of us think that LeBron never stepped out, but you fuck around and out him, you might get sued, you might get all types of shit. You might have fuck around and signed some shit that maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The phones be getting collected. You know what I'm saying? You walk up in Shannon crib, maybe I don't know. How does she record this? Maybe she on an Apple Watch or some shit. But I'm just saying. Art imitates life, people. This shit is real. Get and bump into your favorite celebrity on some groupie shit and come back and tell us that they made you sign an NDA. I won't be shocked. All right. What followed was the beginning of a rocky consensual relationship and lasted nearly 2 years. Our relationship was very unequal. Sharp is more than 30 years older, is considerably wealthier, is physically much larger, and is exponentially stronger. Sounds like an average man woman relationship to me. Don't I see what you're doing, Tony? But Sharp is infamous and has oh, I'm sorry, infamous, famous and has power. Plaintiff and Sharp saw each other on his terms and on his schedule. Well, he's the move maker, he's the shaker, he's the multi millionaire. You just this little back page girl from the gym. You damn right you on his schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna skip some of this. I don't want to get annoyed because I do think that he fucked up, but I know Tony's writing and some of this is gonna piss me off. So let me skip down a little bit. Factual allegations related to all claims. Defendant Shannon Sharpe. Defendant Shannon Sharpe is a former NFL superstar. Okay, cool. Put his pictures up here. Ain't it bugged out how much more notoriety he has now than he did when he was a football player? I mean, the internet is part of that. Social media is part of that. Being on TV without a damn face mask on multiple times a day will change that. That's crazy, right? They said his NFL career was like a couple 10 million or whatever. Now he's talking about last week a deal on the table for 100 million. Fuck sports. What you're gonna do is catch, was it CTE or whatever? They should have been doing this from the jump. Upon retirement, Sharp transitioned into sports broadcasting, quickly achieving success in the industry. Sharp spent several years at CBS, yada 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 yada. Sharp's legacy documented history of abusing and mistreating women. As an example, he is currently a defendant in a lawsuit before the Supreme Court of New York, facing claims from a woman of intentional infliction of emotional distress, among other allegations. That's an open case in New York right now. Checks and balances. Do we got that paperwork? That's an open case? Ooh. Many of the factual allegations in the New York case, are eerily similar to his actions towards plaintiff here. Mm. According to the New York lawsuit, Sharp forcefully subdued the plaintiff in that case, forcing her to her knees and subjecting her to non-consensual oral sex, despite her repeated protests. I've always thought that that was bugged out. I'm gonna believe that it's taken place in this world many, many times, but I always thought that that was bugged out. You guys want me to get in my reference bag? Okay, cool. Let me get in my reference bag. Sugar Hill is the first reference. Y'all know Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes? Dude, that was the NBA player. You know, with Wesley's girl took her back to the crib, got drunk. He was wilding out, some abusive type of guy and all that, playing ball inside the crib, and she was trying to sneak up out of there. And then he tried to force her to, oh, my makes my skin crawl thinking about it. It's just like trying to force a woman to do that. Like, that's not, you're not scared of that. Reference number 2, Shawshank Redemption, right? When you know the what do you call them, sissy? What were they being called in the movie, sissies, whatever? When they ran down on homie, you know what I'm saying? Remember Andrew Dufresne, when they had Andrew Dufresne on his knees, right? And I think they had the ice pick. They say, "Well, put this through your head if you don't perform." Remember, he told me, he said, "All right, you put that ice pick in my head. Just understand that the physical reaction to that is it causes your jaw to clench down to the point where you can't even open it. You need a damn the jaws of life that they be opening up car wrecks with." You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you saw what they did. They was just like, yeah, yeah, I'm good. And they just beat him up instead. Right? Reality shit though. Art imitates life. Allegedly Shannon. Um, any man that is willing to put a woman on her knees and force her to perform oral is another level of, because it's the physicality. Mature moment, people. It's the physicality thing, right? A man forcing himself on a woman in let's say general sex, right? It doesn't necessarily put a man in harm's way. Okay, this is the best way I could say it. Oral sex, forcing somebody to do that unwillingly. So if you're willing to do that, you use a savage. Use a savage in jail in Shawshank Redemption. They wasn't even willing to do that. Reference King. Shannon, that uses yo checks and balances. This is paperwork that's actively out there for the New York case. Why hasn't the internet grabbed this yet? Where is that? Wow. Okay. Um, when she resisted, he persisted. He would not take no for an answer. According to the New York lawsuit, the plaintiff therein feared for her safety, just as plaintiff fears for her safety now. The new Tony is going crazy on Shannon. The New York lawsuit further alleges that Sharpe escalated to consensual penetration, all while telling her that he would make it so no other man would want her. These words were apparently not a one-time thing. Plaintiff herein too has heard Sharpe say those exact words to her. So they also get to whether true or false there, whether he's lying or not, they still get to leverage that New York case. I mean, they're doing it right here in the paperwork, but court of public opinion was bad day one. It was bad day two. It was bad day three. Step down day four, and this is going to continue to compound it as well. And this ain't even the one that we just brought up from the FS1 accusations, right? We read that in the beginning of the stream, supposedly that he assaulted some whatever. I was like, all right, accusation. This right here is an all-out SA claim that they're saying is in New York courts right now. I didn't know I was going to read this, people. Oh, not that I didn't know we was going to see this. Wow. Plaintiff discovered that Sharpe had been secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. When she confronted him, he summarily dismissed her concerns, claiming the videos were for his own personal use. That too was a lie. Upon information and belief, Sharpe on multiple occasions shared the recordings with his friends and associates. So I was going to throw him a little bit of bail for a second as I was reading that. The bail I was going to say is, if the guy is pulling up for their first date to meet you at the gym, and on the first date he says, by the way, sign this NDA, he's probably very protective of himself, his money, his moves, accusations that can happen from a little 20-year-old, allegedly when they met 19-year-old girl. So if you're doing NDAs on date number one before you even cutting, then I could almost see that person wanting to record things or just having cameras in his crib. Doesn't even have to be like, oh, let me set this camera up over here because I'm about to take it down. It could just be, I got little small that you might not see cameras in my bedroom and all that, focused on my bed, focused on my couch, focused on the shower, all of that. And I'm going to just say they're there for safety, but I know that they're there to capture these engagements as well. Okay. Now, that don't shock me that he might be that protective. Um, but when they put the piece here, see, this is why I say Tony is doing this thing. When they put the piece here that you showed your friends, see, now we're not talking about you just having cameras in your crib. We're talking about, like there's other charges for that. Like, there's other charges for that. Like y'all be seeing these sex tapes and whatnot come out on these celebrities and whatnot. People, you get a lot of trouble for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody fly you out or you hang out and then all of a sudden his pictures or his videos is coming out. You getting a lot of trouble for that shit. And Tony is using that here as well. Mm. All right. Um, Sharp, on multiple occasions, shared the recordings with his friends and associates. At one point, he even forced plaintiff to have sex with him while FaceTiming one of his childhood friends named Bucket. Names. Whenever plaintiff would get up the courage to object to Sharp's outrageous conduct, which was not often, he would aggressively and angrily put her back in her place. Shannon Sharpe isn't just a sports icon, he's something far worse. He is a flawed, narcissistic individual who has spent years using his fame, power, and influence to manipulate, control, subjugate, or whatever, and violate women. With this suit, plaintiff intends to put an end to this egregious conduct. January 2023, the beginning of a consensual but deeply manipulative relationship. Sharp first met the plaintiff in Los Angeles gym. Okay, we saw that. During their first conversation, Sharp proposed a challenge, a competition to see who could lean out faster. The prize, a plaintiff won. He would buy her fake tits. Plaintiff. Yo, ladies, you're not even gonna let a you're not even gonna let a dude offer you some shit like that unless you're giving him those vibes. Like me- men are like water. They say kids are like water too. What do I mean by that? Water, the universal solvent, it's always going to find the crack, eventually make its way through. Whether it takes a day, a week, years, ages, water, it's always going to find its way. Just like kids, manipulation, men are like that too. What's going to work here? Nice guy, um, the, playing gangster. She want a tough, thuggish gangster type of guy. All right, smiling roses and candy for a week or two or a month or two. What's gonna work here? If if I'm trying to identify how to take down this little 19, 20 or whatever that I met in the gym, right? If I'm gonna offer her a deal of like, let's see who's gonna get thin for the summer or lean out the fastest. And I'm saying, if I win, I get I get this. If you win, I'm gonna buy you some fake. Like to even offer a woman that, you gotta be getting some type of vibe. That's why I say that she's far from an angel. She was on back page when they met, right? We saw some of her videos, moving around. So I was like, at her age, man, where's her parents at? But she is far from an angel. She damn sure ain't no angel. But to even offer a woman that kind of shows that, kind of shows who she is too. But then it also reminds me of like, who the fuck are you dealing with? This sea of women, Shannon. This is what you fucking with? Because it's dangerous, it's young, it's maybe that's just what you like, allegedly. Damn. I used to have a friend. I said his name on the stream yesterday. I ain't gonna pick him out, but I have a friend that he grew up just like the rest of us, would never date black women. It was because he felt culturally he couldn't assert himself as a man with black women, right? I think that's a stereotype. Okay, let me be respectful to everybody that's in his chat. He just felt he could never dominate a black woman, so his preference became white women. He just felt like they were more compliant and would always do what he says, right? And you know, people are like that. They go after what works. They go after what they like. To us, it's like you're 56, she's 19. What are you doing? But it's not just the little bunny that was on the leg press machine next to you. You could also been seeing, oh, I might control that. You have a conversation with her. She seems ditzy enough to offer her fake titties, right? You can peer into the person and you could see like this is gonna work. I'm gonna be able to choke this person. I'm gonna be able to steer this person, tell this person what to do. Look at the audio that was released. You say that again, I'm gonna choke you. There's a lot of strong women in this chat right now. If I'm on the phone with them right now and I say that shit again and I'm gonna choke the shit out of it, they're like, what? Nigga, eat a I'll say right what, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then what was Shannon do then? If he had that type of woman. Now you gotta do something. You know what I mean? Instead, what was that girl's reaction on the audio? Well, I don't want to get choked. That's not a good look. So I guess we will go out to dinner then. What? That's why I say them type of girls can't do shit for me. And it's not even just an age thing. If I got a woman that can tell me, "All right, we're gonna go out to dinner then because I don't want to get choked." It's just not my type of woman. Ew, ew, Shannon, ew, ew. I'm making this worse on accident. Ew, ew. Whatever floats your boat, kid. During the first conversation, yada yada competition. Okay, plaintiffs would get fake tits. Plaintiff was stunned. The implication that she needed or wanted such a thing was wildly inappropriate. Oh, Tony, I don't believe that because we got text messages of her texting Shannon talking about, come take it down, $25,000 a cheek or something like that. So once again, Tony, don't lie to us. Don't talk to us like we're stupid. I understand you're doing your lawyer job, but a call out is a call out. Hearing it from a stranger more than 30 years her senior made it even more disturbing. You're lying. Shut up. You're lying. Throughout their subsequent encounters at the gym, Sharp made sure plaintiff understood who he was, a celebrity and a TV personality. Okay, yeah, that's going to help him. Over the following week, Sharp made himself unavoidable. He was at the gym when she was. Yeah. He constantly called and texted demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. Plaintiff repeatedly declined and made up excuses to make her seem too busy to see him. Well, you should if we're gonna say no means no then for sex, then use it here too. Okay. Well, don't curve, just be like, nah, I'm cool. It's too early. Let's date a little bit. Just do that. That's a good learning point right there. Try to be direct. I know that we love to curve people, but if you feel the vibe that somebody's being aggressive or somebody might have that nature in them, they're just trying to put their best foot forward during the courtship phase, then if you read that, don't curve, be polite and be assertive. You know what I'm saying? Because you're building up a man that believes that he can also do these things and get away with this type of shit. The chemistry of man woman goes hand in hand to what the outcome is. You don't end up with Krishan and Blueface unless that energy is not going hand in hand. Neither side shut that shit down from beginning all the way to where they are now. Okay. Plaintiff repeatedly declined and made up excuses. Eventually, plaintiff gave in. But before she could meet him outside the gym, Sharp made another demand. She had to sign an NDA. Okay, cool. Revealed from the start the violent, aggressive, and controlling nature of Shannon Sharpe. The first night plaintiff went to Sharpe's house, the experience was unlike anything she has dealt with before, disturbing, unsettling, and given his subsequent conduct, very illuminating. When plaintiff arrived at his house, Sharpe opened the door to his Beverly Glen mansion without a word, no greeting, no acknowledgement, no small talk. Without so much as looking at plaintiff, he simply turned away from her after opening the door and walked upstairs. Plaintiff hesitated but followed as she did not. Oh, you gotta tell me, but she followed though. It was weird as shit, but I walked in, I followed you. All right. But followed as she did not know what else to do or where else to go. I just hate reading the fake damsel in distress things when when these women, some of them have their own intentions as well. Shannon's coming off like a creep here in certain pieces of this, but don't try to angel this fucking girl up, man. Oh, that's what annoys me. When they reached the bedroom, Sharp pointed to the bed before disappearing into the bathroom and shutting the doors behind him. He still had not said a word. Plaintiff sat on the bed, waiting unsure and what to expect. Not knowing, sat on the bed. I don't know what to expect, but but she's a back page girl, right? She's an OnlyFans girl, and she's sitting on the bed. She don't know. If she should not knowing if she should leave. Roughly 5 minutes later, he finally emerged, but still he said nothing. Instead, he turned off all the lights and laid down on his bed. Plaintiff, uncomfortable and unsure of what to do, laid down as well. For roughly 10 minutes, there was nothing but silence. Then, without warning, Sharp places hands on plaintiff's neck behind, pressed her. Let me skip some of this. We don't need to do some of that. The next morning, Sharp woke up roughly 4 a.m. to shoot a media segment for the sports television. He woke plaintiff as well and told her she needed to leave, but he informed her that she had to be back by 9 p.m. exactly. Was she? The following night, plaintiff arrived at Sharp's house approximately 9:05 p.m. So you're telling me it was weird You guys had sex. There's no our allegations there. You didn't call no cops or run to the police there. He said, "Yo, I'm going to work. Where you at?" He let her spend a night. I don't know why he let his little girl spend, but he let her spend a night. Wakes up in the morning. Hey, I gotta go to work. I'll get on there with Skip at the time, right? Allegedly, get your ass up, but be back here again at 9 o'clock. And she shows up at 9:05. This is the type of reason or the type of stuff where it's like fast forward all of this because you're definitely going to show me that this is consensual like even the decisions, the actions, the leaving, coming back, and you're 5 minutes late the very next day. Like, I'm not doing none of that. Um, yeah, let's get to this. This is this is where you could actually make some claims that would add up. Summer 2024, Sharp's control turns abusive. The relationship becomes fearful and non-consensual. Sharp's aggression and rage continued to escalate to the point where plaintiff's friends began to fear for her safety. For example, when plaintiff was with her friends, they could hear Sharp yelling at her over the phone and would ask her if she was safe. And I don't know the credibility of that. I'm gonna keep it fair. I think that Shannon is in deep water here, and I don't like a lot of stuff that I'm reading and seeing around him, even leading up to this paperwork. But you're not gonna make me jump out the window in certain pieces of this paperwork. All right. I mean, fucking ASAP Rocky got people out there talking about like, nah, it was a wasn't a real gun. Just stop. I'm just saying, like, these friends is getting broken off too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a million, you get a billion, you get a million. Get the fuck out of here. It could be true though. I'm just saying, like, it's cause to pause if you're in a situation like this. All right. In the summer of 2024, plaintiff and Sharp each moved to Las Vegas for their own reasons. Oh, now you want to dumb it down, Tony, for their own reasons? Why don't you want to be descriptive there, buddy? Yeah, because that's not something good to be descriptive about. That's what Cam was talking about. Like, y'all move. Like, I don't get it. What are you talking about? Sharp is gonna paint the picture like, yo, we was in thick, we was in deep, we was in love. Sharp might as well go there. Shannon might as well come out and say, we were in love. I loved her. We moved in together, and I foresaw children with her one day. She made me feel revitalized. She made me feel young all over again. I love this woman. He might as well. That's his defense. Go do that. You might as well. Y'all moved in, both moved to Vegas, and Tony Busby is being reserved there. I got you, Tony. I see you. I see what you're doing for their own reasons. All right. Sharp liked to say that the plaintiff followed him to Vegas, but that too is a lie. Once in Vegas, Sharp again insisted that plaintiff signed an NDA. But so then why did she? If she's supposedly retreating from this man. She refused again. He persisted. Oh, so she didn't sign it the first time when they met at the gym. All right. But after enough resistance, he let it go and continued seeing her multiple times a week. His behavior did not change. He remained erratic, controlling, and verbally abusive, all while telling the plaintiff that he was committed to a sexually exclusive relationship with her. All right. In September 2024, Sharp humiliated the plaintiff. He live streamed himself having sex with another woman on Instagram. All right, we saw that. So if you're my girlfriend or if we're so exclusive and that audio comes out, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, 2 years in, as much as she could be some OnlyFans or gold digger, whatever, at the end of the day, 2 years in, I'm pretty sure she got some level of attachment to him. So I could rationalize that. That audio comes out and this was like, oh, I'm not the only one. You told me I was the only one. Fast forward, what did we read yesterday? She said, no, put a C on, right? Because the audio came out. But you thought that you was the only one in the first place. And if he thought you was the only one and he got you off of OnlyFans, well, he didn't get you off of OnlyFans, but you some OnlyFans chick. Y'all both tripping. Both y'all is crazy. Y'all actually belong together. Plaintiff's feeble attempts at freedom and independence further upset Sharp. He began flooding her phone with calls demanding to know where she was. Is getting possessive. This is an all-out relationship at this point, people. 2 years in, damn near, yeah. Moving in and whatnot, yeah. He called relentlessly multiple times per hour. The harassment, that's not multiple times per hour. I mean, that's not harassment. That's I gotta really remind myself when I do paperwork, the lawyers are doing lawyering, right? I got to remind myself of that. But like harassment, if you haven't had your phone blown up, you ain't fucking them right, or she ain't fucking you right, or you ain't fucking her right. You know what I'm saying? Like if you never had your phone blown, or you never been loved, you never been cared for, you never had somebody wrapped up in you or totally invested. You know what I'm saying? Like blowing up a phone is not harassment. You know what I'm saying? Like I, I'm not gonna. I'll leave that alone. Fuck around and say the wrong thing. Sharp simply would not accept independence or freedom from the plaintiff. October 6, 2024, Sharp essayed an R's plaintiff and threatens, I'm going to make it so no man will want you again. On October 6, 2024, plaintiff was working out at Nevada gym following her usual routine. As she worked out, she saw Sharp aggressively approaching her. She could tell by his look and the way he moved quickly towards her that he was furious for having been ignored. As soon as he got close to her, sit the F down or I'm going to kill you. Plaintiff refused. I don't want to talk to you. You cheated on me. His response was dismissive and controlling as usual. You don't have a choice. You cheated on me. This is what I mean by they was fully invested by this point. Once that audio came out, yeah, she was mad. Sharp demanded that they talk in private. Again, plaintiff told him no. She made it clear. Isn't it crazy that that audio leak could have been the beginning of his 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million issue with this girl? Isn't that crazy? And this is why some men will say, man, listen, if you meet a woman, just be honest, right? Other men just like, oh, no, it's only you, right? I mean, whatever floats your boat, that's up. Y'all choose how y'all move. But isn't it crazy that that audio leak that everybody was laughing at, including Shannon, might have been the initial start to his $50 million issue? Or should I call it $100 million issue because that was allegedly on the table? Shit. Wow. Talk about domino effect. Once Sharp was inside her apartment, plaintiff tried to keep the conversation in the living room, but Sharp refused. Hold on, let me backtrack. Let me see how he got there. Sharp demanded that they talk in private. Again, plaintiff told him no. She made it clear she did not want to talk to him, be alone with him, or want him coming to her home. But Sharp didn't care. He never took no for an answer. Sharp forced plaintiff under threat to get into his car and go to her house. Are you about to bring kidnapping into play here? Okay. Once Sharp was inside her apartment, plaintiff tried to keep the conversation in the living room, but Sharp refused. He demanded they go to the bedroom. She said no. He didn't listen, nor did he care. Once inside the bedroom, Sharp grabbed her from behind and forcibly positioned her into performing oral sex. He held her in place and then forced her to begin performing. He became even angrier and said, "You've disrespected me so much. I'm going to punish this." I ain't saying that. "I'm going to make it so." Nope, I ain't saying that. In this context, nah, I'm good. Plaintiff at this point was crying. Ugh. All right, let's get a little graphic. I know it's a mature channel. I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's getting a little graphic. Shannon Sharpe forced himself on plane. It's getting a little graphic, despite her sobbing and act. It's getting a little graphic. He also believed that the laws did not apply to him, that he could take what he wanted, and that no one. The picture that they painted there, and I was skimming real fast just now, like, don't look good. Don't look good. I know there's always three sides to a story, not two, three. Bad look. All right. January 2025, Sharp essays and R's plaintiff ignoring her screams. Is this again another one? On January 2nd, 2020, what was the first date? October 6th, 2024. This one is supposed to be January 2025, January 2nd. Okay. Sharp told plaintiff he wanted to see her. Sharp persisted and reminded plaintiff that he had a combined Christmas and birthday gift to give her. As he previously promised her a gift, she ultimately allowed him to come over to her apartment. I don't like that. You got art allegedly in October. Don't let this man come over because he's bearing gifts in January and go to the cops in October. I don't like that. I don't like that. She regrets the decision. Once inside her apartment, Sharp began undressing. Plaintiff firmly stated multiple times that they would not have sex without protection, demanding that he wear a C. So that to me is almost admitting that she's down for it then. So then the beef is about to be that you didn't put one on, right? But you is that am I not interpreting that? I mean, she knew that in the past if she were okay, if he refused to ever use a C, and believed that her demand would stop him from having sex with her. But although he refused to use a C, he still insisted on sex. She tried to resist him. She screamed. I might be getting graphic again. Sharp grabbed her, pulling. Yeah, it's getting graphic again. I'm a be respectful for YouTube here. In case any of you teenagers on my damn channel, I want y'all out of here for streams like this. As soon as yeah, I can't read that. The assault lasted roughly 10. To say it lasted 10 minutes. And Shannon Sharpe does a public statement saying they got 30 seconds. It's really 10 minutes that y'all put the whole thing out. Y'all times are aligned. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And so it's saying here he did what she asked for in those text messages. People put a black baby. I gotta be careful. I'm a be respectful. I don't know who's in this damn chat right now. First claim for relief. Okay, this is what they're asking for. Plaintiff hereby incorporates for each of the foregoing paragraphs as is fully set forth. Am I going to see dollar amounts here? I understand whatever you guys are about to paint. You damn near, I could see you doing doxing, kidnapping, essay, emotional distress, displacement. Mental. I could see everything from what we read already. I just want to see if they do a dollar breakdown for that shouts of like legal. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I want 5 million for the kidnapping. I want 1 million for that'd be kind of bugged out. Second claim for relief. All right, so the first claim is really the essay assault battery. Okay. All right. The second one is intentional infliction of emotional distress. I called it. Okay. We don't have to read that. The next one, demand for so you're leaving it there. Demand for jury trial. Oh, you guys actually have it. I swear to God, I didn't see this. Wait. Prayer for relief, whereof plaintiffs reserving the right to amend the complaint prior to or during the trial of this matter. Praise judgment against defendant. General, I was joking. I didn't think that there was like a money breakdown like this. I was dead joking. Y'all heard me 10 seconds ago. I was joking. One, general damages in the sum of excess of 10 million, general. Two, special damages in sum of excess of 10 million. Three, punitive damages in the sum of excess 20 million. Statutory penalties in the sum of excess 10 million. Declaration of rights as set forth above. Well, at least it's not broken down like I was. Like, yeah, that slap, that's 500. Like, wow. It's just broken down into some legal jargon, basically. Ugh. Chat, y'all with me? I didn't know that this was gonna be an hour spent just on that. But once we got into it, I was realizing, like, oh, we here now. Let me give y'all full reaction and let's read. I thought it was gonna be shorter than that. I really did, because I have a whole topic lined up for the age gap that I was gonna spend half the stream on. I'm still gonna do it, but I'm not gonna skip it on y'all. But damn. Chat, y'all good? Anybody all right? Did anybody have to leave when we got to certain parts of the paperwork? Yeah, Kelson, I agree. I agree, man. I mean, we've seen worse, but for the sake of Shannon, looks real bad. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, homie. I'm good. This is a mature conversation today. Mature topics. I've witnessed a lot whether through third parties or out in the public and internet and then my own life. So now I'm straight. I'm not shocked in that sense. I'm also like, just damn, homie, you about to sign 100 million beater, man, homie. All right, let's get to Shaq. I'm gonna move faster through some of this for y'all. Let's get to Shaq. So there's a conspiracy going around, people, that Shaq has his hand in manipulating and lining all of this up, this Shannon Sharpe stuff. Quick backstory: the only drama that I remember publicly seeing between Shaq and Shannon Sharpe is that Shannon Sharpe used to be a harsh critic on Shaq. Not even that harsh, but he used to be a critic of Shaq for Shaq letting himself be out of shape during a portion of his career, right? And I think, rest in peace, I think even Kobe alluded to it as well. For example, yeah, we got these rings right here during our run, Kobe and Shaq, but we should have had 10 because you put Shaq in his prime and Kobe in his prime, and they're saying one of the only things that kind of derailed it was Shaq being out of shape. Shannon Sharpe, he had some segments where he really was like, yo, I know you got a bigger career than me. You make more money than me. You're a bigger impact to basketball than I was into football. But one thing that they could never say is that I was lazy or I was out of shape or I didn't give 1000% of myself, right? To the sport, to my team, to my teammates. That was Shannon's position. I hope that this overall isn't true. And even if it is true of Shaq having any involvement with this, and I'm going to give you my answer to that actually after we play the video, I hope it wouldn't be over that. It would have to be deeper than that. Had to be.
I don't know if you're on this kind of time, but I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around, so just want to put that out there. Staying quiet. Hey, he said, please, please, please keep it quiet. He said that Shannon did some shit back to him a while back, and he's been off him. So that's why he's doing this. But please, please, please keep his name quiet.
All right. So this is a very Shaq friendly channel, folks. I fuck with Shaq. I think Shaq, man, he's done so much for people. Um, I think he's been a great role model. He's been very I got a Shaq story actually I could tell. Hold on before I get there. Um, he's been a great role model, very successful. One of our billionaires, right? Um, his outreach, like what he does at Walmart and Target and whatnot, like just shutting shit down and just like I'm buying everybody that's online. I'm buying this, and hey, go ask your mother if I could buy you a bike. And I love the way that Shaq has moved. You know what I'm saying? I really, really appreciate Shaq. I really, really do. And this past Christmas Eve, I was in the mall. He was in there like real regular. He had like one person in there like helping him with bags. I was in there with my godson, and my godson plays ball. Godson shot up in height out of nowhere. He's like 6'3", 6'4" now, some shit. But anyway, he's young. You know, he don't even got no facial hair. You could tell my godson is still a kid, right? So godson sees Shaq. He's like, yo, Shaq is over here. I was like, all right, yo, stay by him. So I walk up and he called me on the phone, right? So I walk up and I say, Mr. O'Neal, can you take a picture for an up and coming basketball player, right? I ain't gonna say Shaq or I don't talk to people like I know you. Like I said, I treat the man with respect. I said, Mr. O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I approached it. And I said, can you? It's not about me. I'm cool. It's about this little young guy right here, my godson. Can you take a picture with an up and coming basketball player? Shaq looked at my godson, see a little baby face standing at 6'4". It's just like, oh, I see I understand. So he said, come on, right? So I'm ready to take the picture. And before I take the picture, he goes, come here, come here. He's talking to me. So he said, come here for a second. So I'll go in close. Now we're like kind of huddled up. And he tells my godson, he's like, you see this man right here? You see him, you see your uncle or your father, whoever this. He said, you make sure you listen to him. He said, Luka Doncic done signed XYZ. These guys are making hundreds of $1 million out here, man. There's so much money out here. You see your family member, your uncle right here. You make sure you listen to him. You do the right thing. You follow in his footsteps. Shaq don't know me from a can of paint. I think he purely said that based on my presentation, the way that I looked, maybe the way I was dressed. Maybe he could just tell that I was a respectful type of person, right? But he just told my that like mini conversation. There's all these people behind trying to get pictures and all that. He chose me and my guys and to have a little quick huddle with. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciated him telling this little young man, you know, advice like that. This is coming from one of the richest athletes out there. He's like top 15, I think. I saw the list yesterday. He's like top 15 richest athletes. And to give that moment to my godson, I was just like, that's dope, man. It's something my godson could walk around with forever. Little quick Shaq story from a couple months ago, Christmas Eve. Okay. Um. Anyway, now giving you my answer on this conspiracy that's going around. It doesn't make any sense logically. Did Shaq possibly put a little get skeletons and dirt on Shannon, hid out between a couple people? They say that Matt Barnes' ex-girlfriend or something like that leaked that audio, right? I mean, it could be real. It could be real, but I don't see the correlation to this. Shaq didn't meet this little girl in the gym. Shaq didn't make Shannon Sharpe walk up on this girl in the gym and persistently engage her and try to meet up with her. Meet me at the gym. Let's go out on a date. Hey, sign this NDA. I'm trying to come over, make the move in. This is a 2-year relate. Shaq didn't do none of this. Shaq didn't send that girl. Like, I mean, if he did, he'd be a secret operative. He'd be Submission Impossible guy. Like, if he sent her, like, no. This is Shannon and this 19/20-year-old allegedly girl's relationship. That's their relationship. Now, if you're looking for information, that type of information that comes back to you is either going to be he's dealing with a young girl, and we're about to get to that topic. He's dealing with a young girl. You know, that's the type of dirt that can come back to him for that. Or if he really is allegedly doing something to her and somebody finds that out, that can get back to Shaq, and he could be the one to put that information out. But then don't blame the symptom, blame the cause, blame the root. I don't fuck with you. I got some dirt that you allegedly awed your little young girlfriend. And yeah, I snuck that information out through a third party. I gave it to TMZ. But nigga, you was the one that did the R-ing. You know what I'm saying? So it don't make no sense to me. Shaq got problems with a bunch of people, and so do you, so do I. Like, you don't get along with everybody. Doesn't mean that this has anything to do with him. Okay, this is between Tony Busby, Shannon Sharpe, and Gabriella Zaninga, allegedly. Okay, leave Shaq alone. And Shaq ain't no angel, but leave him alone here. Okay. Before I get into the topic, the topic related to this, do we want to have a quick laugh? Why not? We podding. Happy Friday. Why not?
Yo, Shannon Sharpe, bro. Like, I seen that. Like, I was looking at like everything that's going on. Maybe I'm tripping, but like, she told you to do some bondage stuff. I remember when I did Love and Hip Hop and Princess had me in the bondage room. I had the ball in my mouth. Pause. They had me tied up and she was whipping me and beating me and shit.
You can't pause it if you did it. Yo, listen, whatever floats people's boats, man, with all due respect. If you on your Pulp Fiction joint, like, you can't pause it if you did it. Like, what you mean pause? How do you pause it?
And then, they wanted me to do that. I'm like, look, I don't do all that. It was choking. It was all kind of crazy shit going on in there. It was weird and it was painful and I hated it, right?
It was crazy stuff going on in there, but it was painful and I didn't like. So you're trying to act like you wasn't involved, but then you're admitting that you did it. Yeah, the joint, and then you're admitting that it was painful. Does Ray J realize what he's saying? Like,
it seemed like that's what y'all was doing. Then all of a sudden, when you get kinky with it, like, I'm gonna choke you outside. I'm into it now. After she done ties you up, whipped you, put a butt plug in you or whatever what it was. That
All right. Are we good? That's a no. All right, man. Now let me start to get into the related story. And we still got a quick touch point on Little Durk. Stay with me, people. I got y'all. I just didn't know that the paperwork was going to be that crazy. Shannon, what you talking about recently?
But I was talking about date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there. Stay right.
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Cause you know I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage. Not my age. I want to date my wage. So where are they? Because y'all always talking about date your age, date your age. I want to date my wage. So come on with it.
Well, you talking?
Hey, we don't believe you. You need more. Let's try to transition this over. Remember, people, of the Earth's population, only 1.5% of them are millionaires or better. So you want you a millionaire, ladies, gents. Only 1.5% of the world's population to go find you one. Of that 1.5%, approximately only 10% of those are women. If you're into women, Shannon, because we hear something. I don't know, allegedly. But so what's 11? But I'm not gonna bring a calculator up right now. What's 11? Why not? I could probably do it fast on my phone. What is 11% of 1.5%? Nah, I ain't gonna do it. It's small, all right? That's what you're looking for. We don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Not the way that paperwork got you running down on little Gabby in the gym. All right. So this is the truth of the matter, people. There are differences in tax brackets, age, maturity. These are all things that are part of relationships. Now, if you find you a soulmate or perfect alignment, I mean, good luck. It's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're around the same age. We have similar experiences. We have the same religious and political beliefs. We both like the same genres of music and movies. We both want kids. We both don't want kids. We both want to get married. We both don't want to get married. We like traveling together. We like sports. We like this. We like that. But what you like? What? I can't believe I thought I was the only one. Beautiful. That's like, I guess, stereotypical preferable, right? But there are people that like younger men, younger women, the Shannons of the world, and some of these ladies we're going to get into in a second. And it's okay. Don't try to act like you're going to always find an alignment in things like finances or the way you believe. You got to pick your battles. You know what I'm saying? If you spend time looking for the perfect alignment of a soulmate, you're going to miss the train of a lot of good mates or partners that might come your way. All right. And if you want to sit around waiting for 11% or 10% of 1.5% of the Earth's population so that you could find and date your wage, not your age, your wage, we don't believe you. You need more people. It's not going to happen. And the way that he's being painted in a lot of the situation is that his status, his money, his position in the world is actually giving him something that he likes to incorporate into his relationships, which is the control factor. The choking, be here at 9 o'clock on the dot, shut the hell up or I'm gonna choke you, get your ass over here, don't do nothing, do as I say, sit still, all that type of shit. You know, so you know, I don't really believe that. But when we talk about these age gaps, there's different reasons for the age gaps, okay? Now, as we move into this chat, how do you feel about dating people that are way outside your age bracket? This is what I used to say growing up. Thinking back to this old thought, I don't know if I'm still right or not, but I used to say every age gap outside of the 20s and possibly the 30s can align. What do I mean by that? If you're 20, I'll use some wild shit first. If you're 20 and you meet a 10-year-old, there's no alignment. Okay? I don't want to discuss you people. I'm making a point. There's no alignment. If you're 30 and meet a 20-year-old, I don't believe there's an alignment. I know what it's like when I was 20. I know what it's like when I turned 30. I know what it's like meeting 30-year-old girls, and you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's an alignment. Now, if you're 40 and meet a 30-year-old person, there could be a very, very solid alignment, because a 30-year-old, hopefully, has reached a level of maturity, has reached a level of experiences, like even sexually. It's some people, y'all want virgins and whatnot. Like, that ain't for me neither. Like, I'd rather an experienced person. I'm not trying to say you had to be around the block a million times, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to have to teach everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll teach each other our preferences, but I don't want to do the whole, like, you never gay head before. But I don't know. I'm just saying, mature conversation, people. You know what I'm saying? But sexually, mentally, maturity wise, 30 and 40 aligns a little bit more. Now, once you start talking about 40 and 50, or sometimes even 50 to 30, or 60 to 40, or 70 to 50, those are all aligned. It's about the maturity level. You know what I'm saying? It's just these big age gaps. So that's what I used to believe. Like, once you're out of your 20s, the mentality of these people, the maturity levels of these people, it opens the doors to be more comfortable with each other's experiences and what they're about. You don't even fully know yourself at the age 20. So that's just off the table. Okay. So we got this stereotype of the moment that it's an older person with somebody that is, significantly younger than them. Is it nasty? Is that a stereotype? Or are we going to just be a little bit more mature and say it's really the people in their 20s that we're worried about? Anything after that, just like we brought up a little Duval's video yesterday. Is she under 24? We said no. Right? Do y'all believe that? All right, let's paint some more picture. Let's bring some more context to it. Now, this is nothing new, especially for people with money. Hollywood, this is very rampant. We'll go to the guys first. 40 celebrity men who date younger women. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. See what we got here. Sean Penn. Sean Penn's last 3 relationships had large age differences. Most recently, he was married to actress Lila George, who was 32 years younger than him. 32. That's a gap. Now, Shannon Sharpe and this girl's gap is 30 years as well, right? Approximately 30 years. This is a similar gap. But the difference is Sean Penn's girl is 32. So you see what I mean about these 20s, people. But before that, he dated Minka Kelly, who was 20 years younger, and Charlize Theron, who was 15 years younger. So he's cool with these guys. He's an older man, still bacheloring around or doing his thing or whatever. I just don't want to hear that they're in their 20s if you in your 50s and 40s and 60s. All right, Gerard Butler. Some people got some classic movies out here. Gerard Butler recently made news for allegedly dating 29-year-old model Penny Lane. Reminder, this is a 25-year-old age difference. Now, 29, you should be there. You should know what you want to do in life. You're out of school. You should be working, or you should be aiming at something at that point. You should have your shit together. You should know who you are. You should have a good grasp on what the world and what life is about by the time you're 29. You should. You definitely should. If you don't, Bradley Cooper. What do we got here? Since the late 2023, Cooper has been a happily coupled with this person, 20 years younger than him. Age gaps. I'll use this one lastly, and then we'll get to the ladies. All right, what's this last one? So Jake infamously dated a 20-year-old Taylor Swift for a couple of months when he was 29, which is a romance and age gap fans have continued to dissect in the years since. So how old was she? Oh, she was 20. She was 20. Oh, but he was 29. So he had 9 years on Taylor Swift, but she was 20. She was 20. All right, we'll leave the guys alone for a second. It's all relevant because this came into controversy recently. All right. Where is it? Now this isn't even the one I wanted. Hold on. This isn't even the one I wanted. Give me a second. Where is where Tracy at? Let me find Tracy. Tracy Ellis is what I'm talking about, y'all. Tracy Ellis. She did a podcast with Michelle Obama. Right. That was controversial recently. Michelle Obama. Where is that? Obama. Where is that shit? Tracy Ellis. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. All right, let me bring that up.
Like the way you put it though, because it's sort of innocently sweet and it's not so hard over the head. Like, can you stand alone in a room?
That's why I like the question, because I would ask that all wrong.
Right. That's
okay.
just the
I
thing.
would ask that.
Are you an insecure, trifling ass?
That is exactly right.
Are you so insecure?
Yeah.
That
are
you
you
can't handle
uncomfortable
a
with my
strong
bigness?
woman? That's right. And then
I would ask it all wrong.
That's
He would be
Because
smart
I
from the
am a
start.
boss. I am a boss.
I'm a boss. Are you okay being the?
So that's their boss talk. Actually, what I
level
was
up.
looking for. See, in this same interview was her talking about dating younger men. Where the hell is
way
it?
open.
Yes. Oh my God, that sounded so wrong.
I didn't mean that, Mom.
My heart.
Your family.
And Tracy Ellis still look good too. Where the fuck is it, y'all? Did y'all see it? Did y'all see the Tracy Ellis shit that I'm talking about? On dating as choiceful woman.
It's sort of
Okay, let's go
innocently
to this.
sweet and it's not so hard over the head. Like, can you stand alone in a room?
That's why I like the
Which
question,
is
because I would
like-
ask that all wrong.
Right. That's
Okay.
just the
I
thing.
Here
would
we go.
ask-
This is what we needed. Okay, the chapters. Today's topic: dating, growing up and taking and talking about dating, the basketball test, dating lessons and divorce, welcoming Tracy Ellis Ross, life lessons, being a choiceful woman in dating younger men, and cultural shifts. That's what I want.
You
Yeah,
know?
well, and they haven't been asked to, because I think it's not always a context
Mm-hmm.
that if it's an area that you don't have to think into,
Right.
but I think there is it is a genuine regular thought process for me. It's one of
Yeah.
the reasons, I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it is because
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a
Several
great dinner.
snaps
We
on that
we
one.
had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes, Harish. This
No.
is why I'm saying tales from Tracy's.
It's fun.
She's
It's
got
fun to share.
Tracy tale.
But
You dated
I'm
younger
sorry.
women.
But one of the
Younger men.
reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and
Mhm.
so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who
Yes.
knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age; it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question: why? Why does this keep sort of coming up? Other than they're hot and gorgeous,
There's that.
there's that. But a lot of men my age
Yeah,
are
Michelle?
steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me,
Yeah.
I did enough of it where
Yeah.
I was controlled and felt like I was a possession, or whatever those things were, or prize, I have no interest in it, and I
And
will
you-
not do it again.
I'm sorry.
No,
Craig.
I was going to say, it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just
I'm
kind
not
of the
saying
guys
that's
you're
sort
meeting?
of, that's obviously,
big of a
it's a
generalization.
generalization,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because I have dated men my age, there
Yeah.
is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That there's
No, I
times
hear you.
where I'll be, sitting across the table from somebody and just like, what did you just say?
Yeah, what century are you?
Like,
Well,
oh my
where's-
God.
Where's your horse and buggy?
Yeah, like I'm so sorry.
And your bedpan.
Yeah, for real.
Chamber pot.
Yeah,
Your
your
chamber
chamber
pot.
pot. Your chamber pot. Like where I'm just like, yeah, this is not a match.
Yeah.
And I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or
Yeah.
grow them up.
Yeah.
That I'm not interested in. So, but it's interesting. I mean, there's so many different philosophies on dating. And I have come up with mine. I have come up with what works for me and what makes sense.
Well, shout out to you, girl. You know what I'm saying? You're doing what works for you. Who am I to judge? I ain't mad. There's a little bit of I didn't understand that as far as I'm done with want to train and teach and all that. And like she used the example of homosexuality, right? Like I guess what she's painting a picture of is somebody that's just immature and just not well versed, right? Somebody that's just like homosexual blah, 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 versus somebody just like, like people are people. Right, you're kind of describing somebody that's a little bit more experienced and mature, yet you're validating why you go after younger men. So it's a little bit of a contradiction there of what I heard, at least from that little soundbite. But is it a double standard? Women get away with this a mile a minute. Let a man have a 30-year-old or a 30-year age gap between him and his woman. Women have been, especially in Hollywood, this shit is rampant. This shit is so frequent. It's so common. Now, if we go back, we pulled some of the guys up. Let's do some of the ladies, right? As far as these age gaps, these infamous age gaps, 15 famous women who have found happiness or not with partners 15 plus years their junior. All right. Cher, 40-year age gap. I don't even know who that guy is. I didn't even know Cher is that. Shout out to Cher, man. Yeah. Look at this. Hold on. What's the age? 40-year age gap. 37 to 77. Is he there for the bag, people? It happens in both directions. It happens at tax season and all that. Yo, hold on. Somebody brought up the scene from Boomerang, B. She's old enough to have the clapper. Come on, son. What is we talking about? Oh, man. All right. Sandra Bullock, Ryan Gosling, 16-year age gap. Doesn't seem too bad. How old is he? Then he was 37 and Sandra is 20 years. All right. Wait, she was 37. He was 21. Was we talking about those 20s, people? It's 1 year older than everybody's getting at Shannon for right now. We ain't justifying no Shannon. That shit look nasty, but I'm just saying. It's not a problem until it's a problem, huh? Jada Pinkett, August Alsina. Now, August, look at this. Back in June 2020, when August was doing an exclusive interview with Angela Yee, told blah, 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 Jada Pinkett Smith, whom he met through her son. I'm friends with my child. That's the age difference we talking about here. All right. Jaden back in 2015 when he was 22 and she was 43. Here go those 20s again. Not just the 20s, the lower 20s. 20, 21, 22. Women can do way better getting away with that than the guys then, huh? It's nasty. If I'm 40 something and I got a 20-year-old girl, it look weird. To some people, they're gonna say it look nasty. You women know it's a different story. Stereotype, double standard. I don't know. I don't even know who these folks are, but 20-year difference. I don't remember who they are. Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. So this one's okay because he's in his 40s, right? Kris 68, Corey 43. That's fine. It's an age gap, but once again, once you get out of your 20s, once again, I think that's cool. What's Ellen on? 15-year age gap. Portia was 28. Ellen was 43. Upper 20s. Cool. You should know who you are by then. Okay. J-Lo got some history with some. J-Lo was 42. Casper's 24. First half of the 20s. Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher, 40 and 25. All right. She under 24. It's a no. 27, 42. I mean, it goes on and on. This is a top 15. We ain't gonna OD. But the messed up thing about it, though, is when it's women, This is what y'all call it. Let's stay with the references. Somebody went to thin line. I'm gonna go to this one. This is what y'all call it.
It's a very pretty nightgown.
Oh, thanks. I feel a little overdressed.
I'm just saying. We could use that terminology forever. How Stella got her groove back. and when this happened, I hear people say, "Oh, you're such a disgusting person from an age standpoint." Hey, I could defend Drake on this one, okay? Say Drake. Didn't he look like he wanted to throw up? Yeah. Yeah. And it looked forceful. Let a man do that to a woman on stage. It looked like Madonna just stole her some lip action from Drake. It's all right. Crowd. Oh, great. Double standards. I'm just saying. Me personally, though, first half of them 20s people, big warning there. Okay. That's the age gap topic that we want to bleed off of all of the Shannon and the paperwork and stuff, and more mature conversation. Hope y'all enjoyed it. But I owe y'all a quick little Durk update. I see some confusion on the internet. Let's make sure that we're clear about it, people. This is not him getting bond, okay? He submitted paperwork to have his bond proposal reviewed again. Like, or like, it's like saying, hey man, you denied me prior because we had this situation with the grand jury where we're saying we believe they falsified evidence, or we're saying that once again that song with Quando Rondo's voice in it, screaming no, that was done by a fan, that was done before our song that we recorded, that you guys try to walk into the grand jury, that was done before Quando Rondo's cousin was killed. So now that you guys have this type of evidence presented from my engineer and the people I featured on the song with from Babyface's side, can you reconsider my bond, right? So they put that paperwork together. It was presented very, very strong, very, very good. And the notification application for bail review or reconsideration of order setting conditions of release or detention is approved. The matter is set on calendar for hearing before, and it's going to go down on May 8, 2025. So that's like, what, 2 weeks from now, okay? So in about 2 weeks, he's going to go to the judge, and they're going to hear him out again as far as should we allow you out on bond. And if you remember the paperwork we brought up the other day, it was a nice bond package. It's like $900,000 in real estate. They said that they would do security-based or like home detention and all these other stipulations they would abide by. There was some money that was put up as well, along with the real estate. If you don't think he's a flight risk or he's going to try to do the race on some take-case shit, you know, and then they just targeted the grand jury the way they did with a solid claim, he might got a decent chance of getting bail right here in about 2 weeks. He might be able to be home, you know, until his trial starts, and you know, it is what it is, you know. So we'll keep our eyes on that, but don't see some of these headlines, people, and be misconstrued that he was released on bond. That's not what happened. Okay. All right. What supers did I miss? D Hood Realist says, mod up the Queen Misha B. Yes, shout out to Misha B. She's in the building with us. Shout out to Big Yella, gifted 5 RBE memberships. That is so dope. Oh, Big Yella 317 changed the default, huh? You took up all the I won't say the C, I'll just say the blue attire. All right, homie. I see y'all out here moving around, moving and shaking. I appreciate you gifting the memberships too, homie. Jay, our member and our mod, is in the building, says, I just went to her page. She has a picture from 2024 with 22 on a cake saying it's her birthday. She isn't 20. Who's that? Who is that? It better not be Miss Zaninga. But all right. Appreciate everybody joining the chat. Hopefully we got a nice start to our Friday morning. We about an hour and 40 in almost. So all right, yeah, y'all rocked. Y'all rock with the kid this morning. We tried to keep it entertaining. We tried to keep it informational. And unless something wild happens, we will be back tomorrow morning. Now remember, people, 2 reminders. Number 1, 6 a.m. is Monday through Friday. Okay. When it comes to Saturday and Sunday, we're not tied down to a time, but it is the morning. Okay. Could be 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, et cetera, but it is the morning on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. But Monday through Friday, yes, we are set. We locked in 6 a.m. And the other reminder, people, the link is in the description. We are on Spotify. So people that like to consume the podcast, listen to, what's going on from the Spotify side of things. You do the audio thing. Your job blocks YouTube or something like that. We on Spotify, man. Y'all make sure y'all head over there, check us out, follow the Spotify page. But to be live here Monday through Friday, just join in 6 a.m. and we here building. All right. It's your boy. We'll be back ASAP. Appreciate y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.